This is a free reading of The Sharing Tree, a reimagining of the Shel Silverstein classic. Please check the links in the description below for free downloads. There's also an animated version of the Jack and the Beanstalk retail book. Subscribe now before you forget. The Sharing Tree, dedicated to new generations. May you have the empathy and wisdom to do better. Once, there was a little boy. He was much smaller than the other children in his village, and he was often picked on. One day, when he was feeling particularly small, he went for a walk deep into the forest. He had been crying and was very tired, so he rested at the foot of a great tree. He sat there, with his head hung low, and imagined he was big and strong. Then, no one would pick on him, he thought. And as he sat there, dreaming of all the great things he would do, he fell fast asleep. Some time later, the boy awoke to the sound of a woman singing. At first, he thought it was his mother. As he sat up and rubbed the sleep from his tired eyes, the singing stopped.
"I'm sorry,"
The voice said.
"I hope I didn't wake you.
The boy looked around. He could see no one.
I hope you are feeling better.
The voice continued.
You were asleep for quite some time."
The boy spun around, trying to see who was speaking. He looked just like a dog chasing its tail. "Who said that?" he asked. He could not believe what happened next.
"It was me,"
Said the tree, trying not to laugh. The boy's eyes opened as wide as two beaver tails. He had heard his grandfather talk of listening to the trees, but he never thought one would speak to him. Not really. "Trees can't talk," said the boy. "Ask anyone." This time the tree did laugh.
"If I can't talk,
Asked the tree.
then how can I ask anyone?"
The boy thought about this for a minute. When he realized what he had said, he began laughing too. He laughed harder than he had in a very long time. It felt good. When he was finished, he asked the first question that popped into his head. "If trees can talk," he asked, "then how come I never heard one before?" The tree sighed.
"There was a time when all humans could hear what we trees said.
She answered.
But now it seems that only some small children and elders can hear us. Everybody else seems too busy running around to listen."
The tree sounded sad, and the little boy wanted to cheer her up. "But I can hear you," he said in his happiest voice.
"Yes,
Said the tree.
but for how long?"
"For as long as you like," he replied excitedly. "I could use a big friend like you. I am only small, and can't do very much on my own. At least, that is what all the other children say,"
"Is that so?
said the tree.
Sit down, and I will tell you a story, little one. But first, what is your name?"
The boy sat up and said, "My name is Meekwin,"
"Well, Meekwan,
started the tree.
there was a time when I was very small, even smaller than you.
The tree told the boy all about her life, from the time she was a tiny seed in Mother Earth's soil, until she had grown into the giant she was today. She told Meekwin many more stories that day as well. She knew everything there was to know about the forest. She taught Meekwin about the animals on the ground and the birds in the trees. She taught him about Grandfather Rock and the insects. She even knew all about the fish in the nearby river. And the boy was happy. Meekwin listened carefully to every detail. The tree made him feel important, and he forgot all about his size. When he was with the tree, he felt as tall and wise as she was. He enjoyed listening to her stories and lessons so much that he was almost late for supper that day. When his mother asked him what he had done all day, he smiled and told her, "I was with my new friend." In the weeks and months that followed, Meekwin spent much time with the tree. They joked and played together, talked and sang. He would spend hours climbing her knotted trunk and swinging from her branches. And the tree was happy. The tree started to call him her little squirrel friend. When the other children would tease him, he began to ignore their taunts. The tree had taught him that he was as big as he felt inside. What they said seemed less important to him now anyway. The more he learned from the tree, the stronger he felt. The tree had noticed this and took pride in watching him grow, and the tree was happy. But as the boy grew bigger and stronger, the tree saw him less and less. One day, after he had been away for longer than usual, the tree saw him coming through the wood. When he came through the brush, the tree cried out,
"Meekwan, you have come to play and sing with me again. I have missed you."
"I am too big to play and sing," Meekwin said. "I have fallen in love with a beautiful girl. Can you make the girl love me back, tree?"
"No,"
said the tree.
But you could take one of my thick branches and carve a flute. Then you could compose a beautiful song for the girl. Then she would surely love you.
That's a great idea, exclaimed the boy, and he started right away. And the boy was happy. He sat with the tree and relaxed as he worked. He was always content when he visited the tree, and he carved a beautiful flute. When he first blew into it, it rang the truest note the tree had ever heard. He thanked the tree and hurried away to show his new friends in the village. Miquin came back the very next day, and the tree was overjoyed to see him back so soon. To thank the tree and to respect for its gift, he brought some tobacco. He came by nearly every day that month to compose and practice his love song for the girl. Then one day, Miquin came to the tree and said, "Tree, I think I'm ready, but I need your opinion." The tree was honored that her friend thought so highly of her and listened carefully. He played the most beautiful song that the tree had ever heard, and she told him so. Miquin became flustered but exclaimed, "If you think so, then I must surely now play for the girl." And with that, he was off. Finally, Miquin did come back, and the tree was very relieved.
"I was so afraid something had happened to you,"
said the tree.
"but now you are back and we can play, just like the old days."
"I am too troubled to play," he said. "I have brought you this gift of tobacco, so that we can talk, and I may ask a favor of you. The flute that I carved from your branch played so well that the girl did fall in love with me," he said. "Now, I need to carve hunting tools and a pole for a lodge so I can ask her to marry me." The tree asked him to sit down and talk about what he needed. Miquin respected the tree, so he did as he was asked, and, as always, he felt better after spending time with the tree. The tree loved Miquin dearly, and said that he could take all of the wood that he would need. And the tree was happy. He thanked the tree, and began chopping right away. He chopped all that he would need for his hunting tools, and then took off a long, thick limb for a lodge pole. Miquin stopped suddenly. He realized that to take much more wood might hurt the tree. He loved the tree and did not wish to destroy it. He asked the tree if its forest family would mind sharing some wood to spare the tree any more suffering. The tree was shocked. She had wanted to help him so much that she had never considered this. The tree wept tears of joy. "Why do you cry?" Miquin asked.
"Because you are a true friend,"
cried the tree. Miquin joked and played with the tree until they were both laughing again. He then finished his carving and carried his tools and poles back to his village, and the tree was happy. This time, Miquin stayed away longer than he ever had before. When he returned, the tree shook her leaves and branches with excitement and cried,
"Surely this time you have come to play and sing, haven't you, Miquin?"
But he was too sad to play. "I have come to ask another favor," he said. He explained how he now had a family and needed a canoe. He apologized to the tree for asking such a sacrifice, but he needed to cut down her trunk, leaving his old friend with only her stump. He explained that he had spent many days thinking and could arrive at no solution to this problem. She was the strongest and best suited tree for the task. The tree chuckled slowly.
"I love you, Miquin, and I will gladly help you,"
said the tree.
"All I ask is that you visit with me a while."
And so he did, and they were both happy. He visited with the tree for a very long time. They talked of all the fun things they had done over the years, the many times they had played and talked, sang and rested together. And then the time came to begin chopping. Before he began, he lit a sweetgrass braid and smudged the tree. He did this to show his respect and appreciation for the tree's selfless gift. Once he had chopped the trunk down, hollowed out his canoe and carved a paddle, he thanked the tree again and promised to return. This time, he did not wait so long. When he returned, he brought his daughter with him, and the tree was very happy. Miquin visited with his friend while his daughter climbed a young tree nearby. He was surprised to hear the tree weeping again. "Why do you cry, old friend?" he asked, confused.
"Because the tree your daughter is climbing grew from me,"
cried the tree.
"and I am so happy to know that my son has found a friend of his own, and I know that he will be respected because you will teach your daughter, won't you, Miquin?"
Miquin began to laugh out loud. "I have already started," he said as he grabbed the stump for support, and they laughed together as only old friends can. But Miquin's daughter and the tree next door didn't notice. They were having too much fun. I hope you've enjoyed this tale. I hope you've learned a few things. I hope you've had some interesting conversations. In these next pages, I'm sharing some teaching resources and some coloring and activity pages for personal and/or classroom use. Feel free to make copies and share them around. As I wrote all about in my first book, Creativity is Everything, Rethinking Technology, Schools, and Humanity, we are better together, and sharing is part of this.